Welcome back, everybody. This is the thejonnymar, and I am continuing with Resident Evil 2, the Leon B scenario. So you'll notice I picked up the valve handle, and that is because we are going to need it for a little puzzle coming up very soon. And we are actually going to activate a series of cinematics here in a second, so I'm going to shut up and let you enjoy those. Or at least the first one.
Leon, that woman was... I have to talk to her.
So Ada cares not for Leon, even though he just saved her life, and she is going to instead let him lay here on the ground, potentially bleeding out as she heads after that woman, whoever she was. So let's do that. So in between episodes, I actually went back and checked the previous room before we got to this area, as the mysterious woman runs ahead of us, to see if you could get through that door in the boss room where you had to enter the plugs without actually beating the boss. And it turns out that if you try to go through the door, it says something along the lines of, there's no time for you to enter the plugs, even though the boss is really slow and there is plenty of time to enter the plugs. But yeah, that's kind of how they keep you from being able to do that. So here are the other cinematics.
Don't move. You're the one who's with that cop, if I'm not mistaken. Identify yourself. Ada Wong. Ada Wong. I've heard that name before. Now I remember. One of the men from Chicago who came to assist the T-virus research used his girlfriend's name as his password. Ada and John, I believe. How did you know? Who are you? Annette Birkin. My husband is the man responsible for the creation of the T-virus. William Birkin. What? John's dead. He became one of those zombies. My condolences. And although I regret this, you will be joining him shortly. I won't let anyone take the G-virus away from me. G-virus? It's capable of creating the ultimate bioweapon. Its potential is even greater than that of the T-virus. Then that must mean the creature in the police department is... precisely my husband, William. And it's all Umbrella's fault. None of this would have happened if they hadn't tried to steal his research away from him. Where did you get that pendant? It looks exactly like the one I gave Sherry. She dropped it. I've been holding on to it for her. Liar! Give it back to me! Too bad.
Well, how convenient that there's a vial inside of the locket that Ada just happened to pick up that Sherry dropped. So, of course, now I guess she was suspicious of the locket because of what, you know, her mom just said all there. But, yeah, very weird. Sorry about the really low audio, too. That's this game's kind of bad thing about it, is that cutscene audio tends to be pretty low. So that's it for Ada. That was a very short little jaunt through the sewers.
Ada?
And so now we have to follow after with Leon. And we can actually do a couple of things before we do that. You'll notice that Leon does not have any bullet holes or anything in him, and that is because we are wearing the alternate costume. If you were wearing his regular attire, you would see a hole in his shoulder where he was shot. We're going to head up into this room, and that's because there are a couple items in here for us to pick up before we head after Ada. Not really anything super good, just some bullets and some ink ribbons and some herbs. But, you know, everything is worthwhile and is worth getting in this game to make sure you're basically in as good of condition as you possibly can be. But going back to the cutscene between Annette and Ada, if you couldn't quite hear the audio, because during some of the cutscenes the audio drops down really low for some reason, she said basically that her husband, William, was the creator of the T-Virus and also the G-Virus, and that Umbrella tried to stop him and get the virus from him, and basically that led to him becoming the monster that's been kind of chasing us around. Not Mr. X, of course, but the other monster. And it just so happens that apparently there is a vial of what we assume is the G-Virus in the locket that Sherry was actually wearing, that Ada happened to pick up earlier in the game. So now we are going to head after Ada with Leon. There's some items we can pick up, of course, and we cannot go the same way she did. That would make things much easier if we could, because the fan is actually running in that little area that she went. But we do need to pick up a medal here. It is the wolf medal. That is necessary for a puzzle, just like it was in Claire's A scenario. And then we also have to find a second medal that will allow us to actually access the next area of the underground sewers / tunnels / research area eventually. And we have some big uglies, of course. We're going to do our best to avoid them. Not too tough to avoid the spiders in this game, although occasionally they will grab you and hit you, and sometimes they'll poison you, which can be annoying. So I'm going to run over here and try to zigzag, because I do want to enter the metal into the device here to get it out of my inventory, because we do have a lot of items to pick up. And there is no item chest nearby for us to put stuff in. Okay. Whew. We got through there without getting hit. If you are hit by the spider, there is a little planter here with some blue herbs so that you can get rid of any poison you might get. Now this is the device we needed the valve handle for. So you need to use it on here to lower the bridge that Ada used before, so that we can use it to go to the other side. And then you're going to want to actually use it again on the other side to re-raise the bridge, because we're going to be coming back through this area on the upper level in a few minutes. So on the same basic device over here, use the valve handle again, and that'll raise the bridge back up. And luckily we have the extra side pack room, the 2 extra item slots that allow us to pick up pretty much everything in this area. There is an herb or 2 here on the ground. There are some ink ribbons, and I think also some shotgun shells. Otherwise, of course, it would be very difficult to grab all this stuff. And it's weird, because this is kind of like a save room, but there isn't a save box or anything like that, you know, for the items. So we're just going to head into this next area, which is an infamous hallway. Remember back to Claire's scenario, we fought a massive boss in here. We don't have to fight it as Leon. It has been taken care of, and its massive corpse has also disappeared. But we do have to head all the way to the end, and that is actually where Ada ended up. So we are going to be reunited with the Lady in Red. I think there's actually an item in here we can grab. I don't always remember to get it. Yes, that's Ada, Leon. You saw her like literally 2 minutes ago. But yes, there's some extra ink ribbons over here, so woo. But let's talk to Ada again.
Leon.
This bullet mention it.
I just found out. John's dead.
What?
Never mind. Let's just get out of here. The sooner the better.
Poor Ada, finding out that her boyfriend is dead. And maybe we'll be coming back to that, Ada, owing us a couple favors, you know? I got a couple things in mind that you could do for me. As you get stuck on the edge there. How silly of you. But here is the second medal, the Eagle medal. And there's also a memo over here. We read through that in Claire's scenario, so I'm going to quickly zip through it. And again, because we are in the alternate costume, you don't get to see what Ada did to Leon there. She actually put like some gauze around his shoulder to try to patch up his wound. I don't know where she got gauze from, but she did. She has it somewhere on her dress in a pocket or something, even though she apparently didn't have a pocket to put the locket into, but she could actually find a place for some gauze. And I'm going to get stuck on the edge as well. That's a terrible edge, apparently. But this is the last area that we need the Valve Vandal for. So we actually have to activate this little device, and that'll cause the fan up above to slow down so that we don't have to backtrack. A little bit of a shortcut. I guess you could maybe backtrack. I've never tried that. And thinking about it, it might actually be better to backtrack considering the device is right by the door back at the end of the tunnel that we just came through, but we're gonna head this way instead. So this is retracing our steps. There are no more spiders in this area. They're replaced with zombies that'll actually come up and attack you. But we're not gonna worry about them. They are way too slow. We can just run right by them. The next room, though, still has the spiders. So we're going to run past them and insert our second crest into that little device at the end of the hallway, and that'll allow us to access the door. And I think it's the Wolf and the Eagle medal, which for those of you that have played the original Resident Evil, those should be familiar, because you actually use those to get into the laboratory as well under the mansion. So a little bit of a callback, I guess. Let's see if we can get through here without getting, alright, attacked by any spiders. That's nice. So now we're in a tunnel-like area. So we're gonna run through here as something vibrates on the ceiling, causing some of the dust to fall down. And this next area has a little tram that we're gonna use to get to the research area, kind of a secondary area in between this area and the last area of the game. And in the B scenario, there is actually an extra area that we have to go into compared to the A scenario. So Leon will have to do a little bit of extra stuff compared to what Claire had to do. So it looks like our tram ride is here, very reminiscent of the gold saucer tram from Final Fantasy VII. Although we're probably not going to get a wonderful fireworks display like you do with Cloud and whoever you take on your date at the gold saucer. For me, it's always Barret. Always. Oh man, I guess Birkin wants to say hi. So he's gonna try to claw us. You'll notice there's a little bit of dust that falls down wherever his claw is gonna come from. And you just gotta shoot it a few times. And Ada will actually shoot it as well. And apparently that's enough to scare him off. For now. Alright, so we are at the other end. You can go out there, Ada, and see if anything's kind of hanging around. No, she won't. She'll wait for you, so we'll have to go out first. So over here, just like in Claire's scenario, there is something on the ground. You can use the lighter to make it light up to show you where it is. You don't have to do that. Just like in Claire's scenario, you can just pick up the weapon storage key from the ground, since we know exactly where it is. I'm actually going to make some inventory space because there is another item that we're going to be picking up very soon. Actually, there's a couple items we're going to be getting in this next area, so again, I want as much inventory space as possible because we got lots of stuff to get. So this next area is really one of the last areas we're going to see zombies in. So we're going to use up our handgun ammo. And I'm actually going to also equip my upgraded parts to my handgun. Not really so much because they're helpful, but more so because they give me a free clip reload. No, I want to shoot the one behind me. Or I want to miss it. So there we go. Now we have our special parts. They start on auto, which means you can shoot up to 3 bullets at a time. But I like to just use it normally. I will switch to auto if a zombie gets really close to me, though, because you can usually take it down in only 2 shots, which is about 6 bullets. I don't have to worry too much right now, because Ada's there as well, so she'll shoot them too. But we do want to get around this corner up here, because it's another set of parts we can pick up to improve our weapons. Specifically, this next set is for the shotgun, and is one of the best in the game. So I'm very excited about getting the shotgun parts. It's not stupid like that dumb Volt weapon that Claire gets in this area. That is it for this particular tunnel. And now we're going to head into one more hallway area before we get to the save room that we're going to end this episode at. So some more zombies to kill. Hopefully we can use Ada. She's going to stay behind us and walk into our back. Come on, Ada, shoot him. Yeah, she generally needs you to shoot them first, and then she'll go crazy like that. So that'll save us some ammo. Good shooting there. You can hear one still walking around. So let's see if we can aggro it. There it is. And get Ada to shoot it as she does some 360s. Okay. And I think that's it. So the last thing we need is some herbs. There's 2 of them at the end here. And I should be able to combine the green one with my other green ones and then pick up the blue one as well, which should give me just enough space to get everything. And that is great because we do have a save room next, and so that'll allow me to drop everything into the item box. And then we will continue onward into a new area that is exclusive to the B scenario. So yes, we're going to climb the ladder. There's some items for us to pick up in this area as well, and I'll do that in between episodes. But basically, our goal in here...
We finally arrived. There must be something hidden here.
is to find a key that allow us to bring back the other tram that Claire used in her A scenario. So I will do that at the beginning of my next episode. So as always, viewers, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm going to pick up all these items, and then I'll meet you all here next time as we continue onward. So long.